So welcome to New Year and another video from Scottish Watches. This one's a little bit different. It's the Joker from Konstantin Chaykin, owned by Dave Sharp, so check it out. So tell us about this piece, Dave.
So this is the Joker, this is probably truly a piece that, really only watch nerds, geeks, people, collectors would probably even have heard of or know about. Even within those circles, probably there's an awful lot of people who probably regard themselves as watch people that have never heard of this. It's probably at the upper end of, little left field brands that people only find out about if they truly get into watches and read the blogs and everything else that does the rounds. Chaykin's a Russian brand, so as you'll see later when you look in the back, proudly stamped on the back, made in Russia. And he has a small atelier in Russia where he, for want of a better word, makes some pretty unusual watches and pieces. A lot of them are...
It makes sandwiches.
Aye, pieces.
That's nice.
Aye, quality. As long as it's only got cheese and pickle, that's all we need, isn't it? None of that posh nonsense. So they've got quite a few pieces that they do, very much small batch and very left field take generally to what they do with watches. He loves to do things that are just a little bit different. And the Joker's a piece that, if you were to describe it to somebody, it's a watch and it's round and it tells the time. So, from the kind of basic description of it, there's nothing massively unusual about it, but I suppose really just... it just makes me laugh. That's the only way I can describe it.
How does it tell the time?
In the loosest sense of the word.
Right.
So
it gives an approximation.
You've got the eyes,
Right.
and obviously you've got the hour eye, which is as you're looking at it, it's the left-hand eye, and the minute eye, the other one, and the little eyeballs go round, and it tells the time. You've then got the tongue, which is in the mouth, which is actually a moon phase.
It's the best place to keep it.
It is. Keep your tongue in your mouth. Well,
Well, keep it out the AD's asshole, I suppose.
It's okay, you don't need to go to an AT for one of these.
Do you not?
No, it's all good.
Is there a waiting list?
Well, actually, there probably is a waiting list, but it you might have an end date on it.
Wilsdorf edition.
Oh, it's always good when you keep an in-joke.
It is.
It's just a great piece. I mean, from the minute I saw these, I'm sure it was a picture on, a website, whatever, one of the watch.
On a website, you say?
A website.
Is that where pictures are usually stored? Yes.
I don't know. Well, ask Rick.
Okay.
I think he might remember magazines. Things in paper.
Magazines you find in bushes. Remember that?
Are you like
as a
them?
child?
Up the woods.
Yes.
Aye, when you found one. Yaldi lads, we're in. We have
No
some
school
Saturday.
today.
We have some Saturday night entertainment.
So this watch.
You don't get them anymore.
No.
No, this. I mean, from the minute I saw it, I just laughed and thought, that's really cool. And the more I kind of looked into it, it's just I just couldn't get it out of my head. But as always with these things, it wasn't. It was never a piece that was going to be particularly easy to get because, as we've said, it's not in ADs. It's not something you can just kind of walk into your local ex-retailer on the high street and say, I want one of those Joker watches. That just you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I do kind of remember dropping an email to a contact on the website. The website's kind of actually, to be fair, it was cool. It's in Russian and in English, and English wasn't kind of pidgin English. It was well translated. And I remember dropping an email kind of saying, I'd love one of these. Can I get one? And there was literally no response. And I think a good...
Sure didn't email me.
You might be
You
right.
don't get responses from me either.
Nor me, to be fair.
Oh, fair
Or
enough.
maybe it's just that we don't reply to each other. Maybe that's what it is.
Could be it.
Could be that. It's that kind of love-hate thing. Is that what they call it? Love-hate? That's the one. Stop touching me up. I've told you about this before.
Gaslighting.
Oh.
Yeah. So, did they ever reply to you?
So eventually, it was probably a good 6-8 weeks later, and I got a pretty short email. To be fair, I'm guessing English isn't their first language, so to be fair,
Russian probably not.
I was going to say Russian's not mine. And it came back and it was just like effectively very polite but short, and it was kind of, sorry, all sold out, not available. And that was kind of it. And I was like, okay, fair enough, because they are all limited runs. So this is the titanium one. The very first one was steel, and if I remember rightly, there was 100 pieces of the steel, and in the titanium there was 88 pieces. And with those kind of numbers, they were never going to kind of hang about for any length of time, and they were gone. And I just kind of put it to the back of my head, and I would occasionally see them up for sale on some of the kind of usual suspect sites, your Chrono 24s and these kind of places.
Yeah.
And I just did a thing. My thing in my head was that if I got one, I'd want it from new for whatever irrational reason, but that's what I would want. And it wasn't until actually a long time later that I happened to be messing about going through Instagram, and I came across a place down south in the UK and England called the Limited Edition. That's the one.
Yep, seen their stuff.
And he'd put up that he'd put up all that he was kind of representing Chaykin in the UK, and I was kind of, oh, that's cool. And actually I dropped them a message literally just saying, oh, you wouldn't happen to have a Joker? And again, it was a 10 days later I got a reply, and it was kind of like, funnily enough, actually, yes, we do. We've got one steel and we've got one titanium. The steel's new but not new. It was bought by somebody, had never been worn, but technically wasn't new.
Mm-hmm.
But the titanium was new. And I just kind of thought, basically, screw it. If I don't act now, it'll be gone. And I said, okay, could we meet up to get a look at it? And he said, yeah, I'll be in London and whatever date it was, or a couple of weeks from that point. And I said, cool, I'll meet up with you.
Mm-hmm.
And met up with the guy. Guy's name's Pietro. Great guy, actually. Just, sat, gave me a bit of background about what he'd done in the watch industry, what he was doing now. He'd worked for some of the bigger companies and decided he wanted to do something on his own with these kind of smaller independents.
Yeah.
Kind of have a bit of destiny over his own career rather than just working for the big corporates, and did it. And this was one of the brands he was representing amongst others. We sat and talked. We must have talked for a good couple of hours just drinking coffee, and he'd had this watch in his bag and we hadn't even taken it out. He was a great guy just to talk to. And then he was kind of like, I suppose you want to look at it then? Oh yeah, absolutely. And
that would help.
Yeah. And then out comes a watch, and honestly I knew I wanted it anyway from all the pictures, but
well, let's see on the rest.
There's so often these pieces, that you see the pictures and you think that's amazing, and then you see the real thing, and it's not necessarily any worse, but it's not any better either. It's just it's kind of what you expected. This genuinely was better than I expected when it came out. And as you said when we were setting this camera up, the dial is just amazing. And to get the photography of the dial, I'm just going to get down a bit, and we're going to aim for about here.
That should probably do it.
Good this time. Third time lucky,
Not too bad.
And there we go. And the detail on the dial is unbelievable, and just the kind of colours, even just the thing you don't necessarily see. If I roll slightly, you'll see the kind of green band round.
That just appeared.
Yeah, you see it. It's definitely there, but it's not obvious straight on. And also the little kind of suite of the cards around the outside, and you've got the little Joker at the top. But when you actually look at them, you'll see that the suites are polished, but it's kind of matte finish in between them.
Right.
I'm going to move us around.
There we go. Let me just zoom in a little bit on this.
You'll see also.
So that is the actual lips and the tongue metallic.
Yeah,
it looks like it's
they are
coloured.
separate pieces. There's some cool little videos he puts up on his Instagram of making the dials up, and obviously you've got that kind of. I'm surmising here, but I'm guessing it's a kind of anodized aluminium pieces.
Yeah.
But they are separate pieces. And I know that the kind of I suppose the eyebrows and nose piece, that's a piece as well. You see him putting them together. They are many pieces. And obviously you've got the two ears as well, or the crowns, with the kind of
there's one to
so the traditional crown here is your kind of just you can wind it a little, and you can also pop it to adjust the time. And the crown on this side here is non-moving, but there's a pusher in it which is for adjusting the moon phase. So you've got a kind of little, just like either a wee cocktail stick or a wee metal pusher, and you can push that to adjust the moon phase on there as well. It's a great piece. And then
What about this strap? Does this come with it?
So the strap it comes with is the same strap, which is in the black with the green stitching, and it's purple lined on the inside. And it comes without the suit, but he does this as a kind of optional strap, which he brought. I think it might have been a client's idea, I believe, to do this. And it's obviously, if at the top end you've got the hair, and I just was like, yeah, that's
That just sets
that sets it off an absolute treat. It sets it off an absolute treat. And I think, I would argue, it's probably one of my favourite watches. It really is.
How often do you wear this one?
Certainly since I've had this, it's probably had more wrist time than any other piece, days wise.
Right.
I don't necessarily wear it day in, day out, but I probably wear it at least once a week, I would say. Probably at least once a week I would put this on.
So how much are these, if you can get your hands on them?
So when they first came out, the steel ones, if I remember rightly, they were
Trouble's arrived.
Oh no.
Trouble's arrived.
Hey, look, excuse me,
Trouble's arrived.
I'm in the cinema just now.
Get to you.
Where to?
Aye. I'll be back to check on you later.
You'll be back? Aye. I killed your dad. Is that harsh?
That's quite harsh, that is.
But have you seen the movie?
I've seen all the movies.
To be fair, I did. I did kill your dad. To be fair, I think I killed your mom as well.
The Pale Moonlight or something you killed them in. Was that right?
No, it was just in a dingy alley at the back of cinema.
Well,
I'm not very sophisticated, as you can see.
Fair enough.
I need glasses as well.
So sorry, how much were these things again?
So when it first launched in steel, I believe it was about €7,500 list.
That's incredible.
I know, it was amazing. And they obviously sold out, I think, very quickly. And then
your Parkinson's is kicking in, so you can take it off and put it back down here.
The titanium, I think, was about. Batman's making a movie.
Batman's coming in. Batman's coming in.
Batman's been on that
with the Irn-Bru strap that everybody loves to hate.
Aye, well, I don't.
There we go.
Go back in.
Very nice.
There we go. So the titanium one, I think, was maybe 9,000 when it came out, give or take. But nowadays, within reason, I wouldn't say it's anybody's market, but typically you would pay 15 to 17,000 to get one, and that's generally second hand as well, or pre-owned. So yeah, they've accrued. Not that that's important in any way to me, but I suppose at the end of the day, there's between the steel and the titanium and that traditional Joker color, there's 188 pieces. That's it, so if you want one, that's what they cost.
I saw an infographic. It might even have been the guy you're talking about,
actually,
from the limited edition,
social media,
saying that price of Rolex such and such has gone up XYZ, and then the price of this guy on the used market has gone up even more. Yeah,
I think in a shorter period, because I believe
17
these have gone up in. Yeah, I think it's within two or 3 years. This has gone from kind of launch price to where it's at now, and I think the Rolex was broadly similar start and finish point, but it was over maybe 4 or 5 years, I think it was. To be honest, that's all nonsense anyway. That's only ever what someone decides they want to pay for something.
I'm liking the reflection of your head in the top left lug.
On my head?
Look at your wee ball head. Look at it all moving about.
See, I move backwards.
That's it.
You saying I'm bald? I'm not bald. I'm grey, but I'm not bald.
No, it's me that does the bald thing.
You do the bald thing. You hold it. You carry it.
Why, thank you.
You can see though it's quite cool. I do like the fact that it says "Made in Russia" on it. That does make me chuckle.
So it's a Vostok.
It'll probably not. It'll probably not make me chuckle when it has to go back to Russia for service though, and it's never seen again. But
they'll just change the uranium rods in it just to get it going.
There we go. Quite like that purple on the outside. And
it
the
works.
inside, sorry, the strap. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Well, I don't think I met. No, I did. I saw this guy.
Yeah.
At Basel this year.
Yeah.
Didn't speak to him, but I spoke to one of his collaborators.
Yeah.
Who runs? Oh, what's his name again? Something Geneve. As
a brand or a person?
It's a dude.
Lost me. No. Go on.
Well, I met his collaborator, who
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I do have his card somewhere, and they both worked on Poker Playing Dogs Watch.
Yeah, I have seen it. It is pretty cool.
It's bonkers.
It's bonkers cool,
It
but
is
it is really
really,
cool.
really nice.
It's really
And
cool.
what's the guy going to do next? How's
Well,
he
he's
going to top
done.
this?
He's done for the Jokers. Though the Steel and the Tie were the two main ones, and he's done a couple of specials. I know, for example, there's a watch called the Night Joker, which the limited edition have done, which is the first loomed one.
Right.
And it's very much in dark. It's very dark. It's kind of purples and blacks and colours on the dial, but the actual eyeballs and the smile are loomed on it, which is quite cool. And a lot of the other pieces he's done are special. So, for example, this year for One Watch, he's done one, and it's quite a traditional Joker, but over the right eye, it's got a kind of loop that sticks out, and the loop kind of opens and closes, which is really cool. Yeah, it's really cool looking. And he's done like
the Basel one was a vampire.
Yeah, he's done that one,
teeth
which
that
is the
came
teeth,
down.
and they only come out at midnight.
Yep.
And then just as you got to about, like by 1 o'clock, they'd fully retracted again. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I think he's very much got a kind of different way of thinking about things, and comes up with these ideas.
He's got a unique take on it.
Absolutely. And I think, to be fair, probably for every person that sees this and thinks, oh, that's absolutely amazing, there's 3 other watch people who are just like, yeah, but why? And I don't get me wrong, I get that. At the end of the day, it's their choice, but it's not a practical watch from a timekeeping perspective. It's broadly accurate with a 5-minute banding.
So how long did it take you to figure out the time? First time you got it?
I think the first time I got it, I probably got the time really quickly, because I knew I was very conscious of, right, what am I looking at here? Whereas now, you sometimes, you put the watch on in the morning, and 3-4 hours later, you just kind of glance at your wrist, think, oh, what time is it? And then you suddenly glance at it and go, oh crap, that's the watch I put on. I've no idea. And you sit for a good 5 minutes and then go, I'll just get my phone out. But no, I just, as we've talked about maybe before, watches are defunct in that sense these days. During the day, how do I tell the time? A combination of, I look at my phone, I look at my Apple Watch, I look at the watch I've got on, I ask somebody, I look at a clock, and I think there's so many ways of getting the time these days. Or 9 times out of 10, I'm sitting in front of a computer screen or an iPad screen, and the clock's right in front of you. So that's where you get the time from.
So you usually had it on full screen mode and incognito?
Well, that's only when I'm kind of
Flexing the wrist.
partaking in things. Yeah. Bulging.
Bulging. Well, that is. I love this piece. I think of all the ones that, obviously, you said to me, which watches shall I bring over? This was top of the list, and I've seen it before.
It's a cool piece. It's a cool piece. It is a really cool piece.
Looking at it on the camera's tiny little screen, I can tell how good this video is going to look. So this is the one that you should always bring to Red Bar events to let people see.
Do you know, every time I bring it, you do get that kind of little, oh, everyone wants to have a look at it. And I'll let anyone quite happily look at it whenever they want to look at it. But I don't want to overegg it as well, because it's every time it makes me laugh, and I don't think it ever will. But I get to that stage sometimes, think, if I overwear this, will I get bored of it? I don't think I actually will, to be honest. No. But it's such a cool piece, And the nice thing about it is actually that it's the movement is based on a reasonably solid ETA movement for the very base of it before it's been modified. So it should, broadly speaking, be pretty reliable.
Yeah.
So yeah, good. I'm certainly going to get my my fair share of its wear on it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for bringing this over for us all to have a look at in more detail. I don't really have much more to say about it. It is my favourite piece that you brought. So thanks, guys, for checking this video out. Be sure to check out our website, scottishwatches.co.uk. Also on Instagram, @ScottishWatches. On YouTube, where you probably found this, Scottish Watches again. And we do a twice weekly podcast, so be sure to check that out if you found the humour levels in this satisfactory. Thanks for watching, guys. And Dave, thanks for bringing it along.
No problem. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.